Hey everybody, how's everything going? Welcome back here. This is Claudiuyoro, and here I have invited in this video a random Kaz. Hello, dude.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks for coming here. And today we'll talk about and we'll play Sworn, basically a copy paste from Hades 2. Let's be honest, like everybody knows that, everybody says that, but there is the always the but. There's the multiplayer part, which well, like most of the people say, this is like a super nice addition to the game and really fun. So yeah, actually one of the first things that kind of everybody notices in this game is like the progression system, which like I was like one of the big fan, and I played a lot Hades 2 as well. Well, not the first Hades, actually. Aaron, because you played Hades 1, right?
No, actually, no, I haven't. I know it's a good game, and that's why I not even bothered to play it yet. I wasn't in a rush to do it, so I know I'm gonna enjoy it anyway.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, because I want to add something to the whole copy pasting. I think it's a bit harsh to call it a rip off. I mean, it's basically it's the same style of game, but at the same time, it's not really. They how do I put it?
Well, they mostly copy pasted, but of course they try to add also their own stuff. Like for instance,
I think it's inspired. I don't want to call it because it's not literally copied and pasted everything from the game. They just inspired from. Oh, sorry. But they inspired from it heavily. Because with that logic, you can say that every shooter out there is a copy of Doom. So it's not really
uh,
fair to say it.
yeah, but it feels that it's kind of the same atmosphere. But anyway, I'm not, I'm not against this copy pasting part. It's more like it is fine as long as they add something new, as long as the game is still fun, right? And they come up with something new. And of course, They came with this multiplayer, and this is something that looks cool, right? When you first see this and when you first play it, it feels good.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with it. I played it a little bit, like probably 3 hours at this point, and I don't want to play it more because I kind of want to wait for it to release and see what they do next. Because what I'm seeing right now, I kind of like. It's fun, and I don't. I yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And of course, anyways, like in like most of the demos, like there are still bugs, there are still errors. We actually played together and we encountered at some point a bug. Like,
Yeah, like how I got stuck in the wall
oh
and had to
well,
teleport out of it.
well that was yeah, well that was a more pleasant bug. But we later we actually met a bug where the screen wasn't loading anymore, and well,
Yeah, I think
that's
that's it. I think at that point it's just broken. It's not a bug anymore.
yeah. I was trying to be the nice guy here.
There's also the text. Sometimes it displays weirdly because we did happen. Like you saw my gun, like my weapon. You saw it as something else.
Yeah, true.
And I also saw it when I was playing alone. I saw two of my items named the same, even though they were like completely different icons, different description, everything like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what that is. It's not game breaking, especially since I knew what it was. But I think once you get maybe higher difficulties and you start getting like a thousand buffs on you, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything if they're not labeled properly.
Oh yeah, totally. But anyway, the good thing at least is that the game feels good, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
the naming stuff is not pleasant, but it's still the game is playable. I mean,
yeah, no, it's not a game breaking thing. I'm just saying
yeah.
it was there and it was a bit annoying, but no, the gameplay overall it's actually really fun.
Yeah.
It's solid. I will
Yeah,
say.
yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah, actually, one of the first thing I want to say actually is the progression. Like everybody that starts the game, I noticed that of they copy pasted many things, but not the progression itself.
I
And
think
for
it's good
uh,
because how I mean I started playing like what 4 hours ago maybe,
yeah,
and it was a bit. I mean, obviously you have like the first couple of minutes where you're kind of lost, but it took me a while to figure out the different what they're called, the different currencies that you're getting.
Oh
And
yeah.
it took me a while to figure out, okay, which one's which and what does what. But after that, I think it's the as you said, the progression system is actually pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward, and it has enough depth in that so that it's not boring. Like you
Yeah.
said, there are some skills in the progression where you can switch them,
Yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
flip them, and I didn't know about that until you told me. So
Yeah.
I think it's enough meat there to bite into. But yeah, I think as we discussed before this, it would be cool to see more of the flip skills that you can
Oh,
customize.
oh yeah, totally. I mean I mean it's nice the progression itself, of course. When you upgrade things, it feels good, but I mean, I feel like everybody would love to see more, like more personalization. Like I want to personalize my stuff, right? I want to have like this sort of talents because I'm one of those that I'm a really big fan of talents, especially after playing like many years World of Warcraft. I know that this has nothing to do with World of Warcraft, but the idea of like not only progressing and only like upgrading, like let's say like in terms of damage, like quality, but actually the flipping part, which gives you this nice customization and gives you that strategy, especially if this game is played in multiplayer. Imagine how many nice things there can be. Like one can go like super defensive or like supportive, one can go like super aggressive, one can go more maybe tanky, and this kind of stuff is pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, what I want to say is that you are talking about them like they are classes, whereas I like to think of customization as just taking something and make it your own. Like how I was playing with the what was it, the rogue, or what was it called? I can't remember. Anyway,
Looks like a roll, definitely
the
looks
one
like a roll.
sand the one sword the one-handed sword guy, and by the end of our game session, I basically figured out how to like double teleport and double backstab, and I think from that, if I because keeping in mind it's still a demo, so we don't know if they're gonna add more perks later, they're gonna add more stuff. So I can imagine maybe later on I
Yeah.
could grow something from that mini build that I made, and yeah, you said that a lot of people want that customization, but I think a lot of people also want the simplicity. Because, for example, like
Sure.
you take something extreme like Path of Exile, and then you show someone the skill tree, and they're they're basically overwhelmed.
No way, man. That's extreme, and that's actually one of the things that made me not play that game for a while because I'm that kind of player that, sometimes let's say I want to follow maybe a build or something, or maybe even sometimes I want to go like for freedom. And in that game, when I opened and saw like uh, 10,000 or how many, there were like thousands of talents and choices. That was so overwhelming. I was like, no way. I mean, there is, there was like too much. But yeah, I mean, of course, it always I feel like needs to be that balance, I guess, right, between having customization and also offer like that simplicity, right? So it always needs to be balanced. Yeah,
Yes and no. I think it depends on who you're asking, but I think this is a good entry point for someone. Like
yeah,
I can definitely see, like I can maybe easily recommend this to someone that's not really into action RPGs or roguelikes or anything like that because it has enough depth in there to not be boring, but at the same time it's complex enough. Because as we mentioned, the Path of Exile example, yeah, a lot of people are overwhelmed, but at the same time, to be completely fair for the devs, they've been working on this for so long that I think it's kind of fair to have that level of complexity at that point.
uh, yeah, probably. But I
Because
guess, yeah,
I think their problem is not really the complexity, is more the new player experience.
the learning curve basically. It's the
Yeah,
problem. Yeah, 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 yeah. Totally. Because after you actually play the game, after a while, like after a year for like full time, you actually start to understand how it's going, right?
I think because nowadays especially like I think how they are meant to be played, because a lot of people told me that when you play Power of Exile, I think the best thing to do is just follow a build and play the season first, because that way
Yeah.
you learn new stuff along the way. And it does make sense because every time I started playing Path of Exile before doing that, I played the normal mode, and it was horrible.
Yeah. I can imagine. And I know that. Okay, let's go back a little bit to
Yeah,
Swarm.
yeah. Go back to Swarm because
Yeah.
we didn't play Path of Exile.
Yeah.
We played
True,
this.
true. So yeah, actually, let's talk a bit about the multiplayer experience. How does it feel? Because I like a lot of roguelike games, right? That are like single player, and this is like multiplayer, and of course, this is like the that big selling point they have, right? This is like, hey, come and play this game. Well, they don't say it like, hey, it's like Hades, but they like really wanna show this that we've got multiplayer. And wow.
Was it marketed as like multiplayer? Was that like a selling point?
Yeah, that's definitely like one of the biggest selling points for them. Yes, truly. It's like between 2 and 4 players, and we actually play it right now in 2 players. And well, sometimes I felt even like in 2 players, the maps were pretty small, and it was like a bit of chaotic, right? Chaotic moments.
Yeah, yes and no. I think we truth be told, we haven't checked with 4 people. Oh yeah, because it says on Steam, 1 to
Yes.
4 player co-op action roguelike. Okay, yeah, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I think to be completely fair, we haven't played with 4 people, so
True.
it. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Realistically, I think it just stays the same. But we don't know if maybe
It's
with
more
four
chaos.
players with more players maybe more chaos, or maybe the map's slightly bigger. I don't know. We don't know. We only played the 2 of us right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of hard to judge that.
Yeah, actually, the map I think is gonna remain the same because I also saw some videos about it. But more chaos. But sometimes more chaos is not necessarily bad, right? I personally might enjoy that as well. I don't know. It's like, of course, I'm not sure if you played, but for those of you that played actually arenas like in World of Warcraft, like 5v5, there was like a lot of chaos, but a lot of people actually enjoy that kind of chaos, right? It
Yeah,
can
but
be.
isn't the arena like in a big map? Because I saw something. I'm not sure. I haven't played WoW.
Not
but I've
really,
seen
not
something.
really. Well, it's no, not really. Arenas is like classic arena. It's like the same map as it for like 2v2, 3v3, right? So it's still chaos, right? A lot of chaos, but still a nice chaos. So some people, I guess, will love this, but some people, of course, won't. But at least I found for like playing with you like one-on-one, I find this to be like pretty fun. Of course, there's one thing that I haven't really liked. I didn't really enjoy it was the fact that there was no possibility to like, I don't know, join or find a lobby or something, or quick join, because I totally get it that for some people this is fine, but if you don't have some people to play with, maybe or maybe you want to like, you just wake up in the morning and just want to play this game for a while, it would be nice like an auto join or something, don't you think?
I don't necessarily agree, but I guess the option would be nice because I've played a lot of those kinds of games, and those are meant to be, because it says 1 to 4 player co-op. That usually co-op means just you get your friends together and play it, or you well, like all of us would buy the same game and we will go through it. I guess I haven't seen any, because there's no good example of a game that does that.
Yeah.
And lobbies and servers and stuff like that usually are for, I mean, like nowadays lobbies, because servers aren't really a thing anymore.
Yeah,
Since we went to matchmaking, even in shooters, you don't really see that anymore. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree, but at the same time, I guess if they want to add that, they can. I
Yeah.
just don't think it's a priority for them. And
Yeah.
realistically, this is the type of game that, especially it's a 4 player. If it's
Yeah.
like a 20-player, 24-player shooter on a big map or something, yeah, okay, I get it. You can find like 20 people to.
What
yeah,
if,
like,
man? What if?
I tried
Wow.
to organize. I tried to organize a paintball thing with my friends, and it failed miserably because it's hard to get 20 people in like,
Yeah,
one thing.
yeah.
But I think 1 to 4 players is reasonable.
But actually, as you were speaking, I was trying actually to imagine like what would be like a 20 player, right? Maybe
Just
make
make
a
it a-
super huge map. Oh my
Ju-
god, imagine that.
Just making a battle royale already. Just make that because I'll be happy.
Yeah, exactly. That wouldn't be bad. I mean, maybe like on like first ever joke or something like that. That would work probably. Imagine
mean-
so much, like I would keep the same map and add a lot of players. Like
No,
super.
that's not gonna work.
Well, at least
The map is way too small for that.
well, at least for fun, to give like 2-3 matches, that will be fine.
Maybe 8 people,
Yeah.
but not, you can't fit 20 people in those maps.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
too
yeah.
small.
Well, as a meme you can, but only as a meme if you do that, right? So yeah, no. But actually, getting back to the thing with joining, the map join on somebody. I'm not saying like maybe lobbies, but something like a, let's call it public matches or something like that, and people have the possibility to join. Because, for instance, right now, okay, let's say we play together. We want to play together, but we maybe want a third person, whatever. And that would be really cool to actually have this possibility to, hey, I wanna, we are open to welcome a new person, a random person, right? Because it's not like, it's not. I don't find like this game needs to play. You need to play in like all
No,
together, or right?
I don't know. I don't like how do I even put this without being a jerk? But I trust me, you don't want random people in this kind of games. I've been there.
There's no chat, so why?
Because they just do whatever the fuck they want.
Well, yeah.
Honestly, I think if we want a third person, it's just easier to find someone.
Oh yeah. Well.
Like I can bring someone over, you can bring someone over, like, we can make it work. No, I don't know. That's just my thing. I don't really think it's a big deal, and I get options. Options are fine.
Yeah.
I don't really see this being a thing. Personally, I don't really want to do that. Like if that was a thing in the game, I wouldn't use it.
Yeah. Well, I will.
That's just my.
I would probably, until I get like super pissed, and probably then I won't ever use it.
You'll see it, then it'll be like, like fuck, turn back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess it depends, right? It depends also on the community they are trying to build, but yeah.
Because speaking about communities, I think the same. You can get the same outcome by just joining a Discord server for the game.
Yeah, true. Yeah, actually, I agree. And of course, I think it's enough for complaining about the bad things. What about like the good things, like the amazing things for playing like multiplayer? Because I mean, both of you, like me and you and I, we both play the single player version, and we also play the multiplayer version. Of course, you died. I haven't died, but even yet. Well, yeah. But I was thinking now about the reviving experience, and I know it was a bit weird that you could actually shoot while you were dead. Isn't that a bit weird?
Not really, because it's not broken. I don't really have a lot of range when I'm dead. I'm just like, I have maybe a
yeah, but you can
1.5 to 2 meter distance range around you, and I can only use light attack to shoot like small projectiles and charge a heavy attack to just stomp the ground. And that's basically all I can do.
Yeah.
So well, it's kind of like, okay, I'm dead, but I can still kind of help you.
Kind of help you. All right.
The only thing I can imagine is what if you're alone in a four people party, and everyone dies and you're still alive, and everyone is just stomping around you and just killing everything. That would be interesting to watch.
Yeah, well, I guess they will do more damage than you, right? So if everybody like shoots, bam.
I mean, at least they're gonna keep them occupied.
Yeah.
Because I like you know what, I like that because usually when I die, I'm like, okay, I'm playing. You don't see me because you're gonna see the footage later, but I'm playing. Okay, I'm doing my controller thing. I die and I rage quit, and I have to watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Because this way I can still do something.
Yeah. That's actually a good point. Not actually just waiting, right, until everybody is done. You actually do something. That's good. That's actually a good thing. Maybe they will actually, add some classes more like ghosts, healer ghosts or whatever.
Yeah, make a class they're just specifically made to die.
Yeah, exactly, and they're useful when they die. How will that be? That's the only way you are useful to your teammates.
I think that's straight up just a JoJo stand. I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but probably the viewers know. So I'm gonna keep it at that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, anyway, for me actually it was a really really good experience in terms of like multiplayer. It was fun. It was, you know, it was decent. The combat was nice, and what I actually liked, even on the demo part, I mean, of course they'll probably like add more classes, do a lot of adjustments and so on, but the synergies were already there. Like, you know,
Yeah, I mean, you could shield me.
Yes.
Like I could still, like, you can regenerate, and at the same time I could still do my own thing.
Yes.
So there are some combos out there. We couldn't experiment too much because we kind of had a limited time with it. But yeah, I can see how we can maybe combo something together.
Yeah.
If we put our minds to it.
Exactly,
Definitely.
and that makes the game so much more fun. I mean, and of course, you know, usually playing with friends, the game it's much more fun, right? And especially if you go with some synergies, oh my god, that could be really really nice, right? It could create some unique gameplays. That's really really cool. And the big question is here, like, since this game is more like copying or copied the Hades to like most of the part. I mean, can this game be like more successful than Hades having this feature? Because they are, I mean, a lot of people already posted videos like, "Hey, the new Hades is here, Hades 2, the new game, whatever," right? So I guess, well, they already have kind of a pretty big community right behind, especially on their Discord server. So it's like I'm really wondering how big this game can get. How?
I I don't think they're gonna get bigger than Hades. Hades, it's too much brand recognition. Too many people know about it. I highly doubt they're gonna like, but they don't need to. Honestly, in the market, there's no space for both of them.
There is or there is not.
There is.
Yeah, there is. And actually, honestly talking, it's like this trend of adding multiplayer roguelike games, I feel like lately started to grow like more and more and more. Like, and this is becoming probably the next trend, right? Because of course, since games like Vampire Survivors came, like a lot more people came and started playing roguelike games. And yeah, right now actually,
Yeah, it's kind of like a new gen of roguelikes because they weren't like that before. I think they just took the simplicity and made something else. Because like nowadays it's kind of like basically it went back to what it used to be from vampires. Because I'm not comparing. I'm not saying like not a disclaimer or anything, but I wouldn't compare Vampire Survivor to this.
no
Strictly
way.
because it's more. This is more similar to something like I don't know, Enter the Gungeon or
Yeah, yeah.
something like that. 'Cause it's not the mindless just kill everything and it attacks automatically. This is like one of those you do everything yourself basically.
But man, even like go mindless and kill everything, that is so fun, super fun. I don't know. It's like
I'm
so
not saying
much,
it's not.
so much dopamine. It's like an addiction. Like really, like you play for 5 minutes and you want more, and you want more and more and more and more. You know, that's crazy how it works. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I feel like even though both are like roguelikes are like kind of different genres, right? Like or subgenres, maybe better say. Once they make like a multiplayer experience that's gonna be like super fun to play, and I feel like the core they started, it's already fun. And of course, if they get this to the next level, I believe that they have like a pretty big chance to be like a super played game, right? But of course,
I don't see anything specifically like revolutionary or anything like that. Because I definitely played roguelikes before that are fairly similar. If you play, maybe not co-op, but maybe if I look into it, maybe I can find more co-op examples. But there's West of Dead that's pretty similar.
yeah,
I don't see anything installed right now because I have like all this stuff installed on my computer and I can't really see it when I need it. But anyway,
yeah.
but no, I don't think I don't put them on a pedestal. I've seen these games before. I don't see necessarily something revolutionary here. I think it's a solid game, and I think that's that's good enough for now. And maybe once they release, we'll see. I guess what the public says with the reviews and everything like that.
Yeah,
Because it's from what I'm seeing, at least on Steam, is the second game that they're selling on Steam. So it's kind of not selling because they're free to play, but you know what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
but for now, it's a solid game. That's all I can say. Right now.
Yeah. Well, actually, what I have to say actually is like, from my point of view, it's like they don't have to revolutionize, but as long as they have kind of this, or they create the same vibe as Hades, right? Because right now, when I first started playing this game, I actually had the same vibe. I don't know about, with like pluses and minuses, but actually, right after this, if you add the multiplayer part, and if you make it like a super epic level and it's super fun, you know, they have like a really strong chance, I feel like. But of course, I mean, this is something we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, just time will tell.
Yeah. And they are the marketing team, right? Because if you don't market yourself like good, you can have the best product ever, and well, if nobody actually see what you do. But yeah, well, they're not that small either. Let's talk a little bit about the environment they create, like the bosses, environment, mobs, how they feel like my perspective here is like, the bosses were pretty fun. Again, I saw like some similarities as Hades, but I really actually enjoy the environment, like with a lot of traps, like with a lot of stuff, like, hey, collect the water, do that. That's kind of
those
nice.
are actually cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, and also the mobs. You know, the mobs were actually pretty nice meaning like they were. I don't know. There are like some variety of mobs, like mobs that are rangy, mobs that are like super like slowing you like hell, and you know, you get killed.
Yeah, but the slower. Yeah, fair enough.
And of course the balls that killed you also a few times, that was tracing you.
Oh yeah, the old ladies.
The old ladies, yeah, the beautiful old ladies, yeah.
So no, yeah, because I did forget that they are, because I think at its core they're basically the same, like, subclass. I don't know what to call them exactly. The same category of enemies. They just added new stuff to them. But because mobs are mobs. They're just cannon fodder until you get to the boss. They are solid, but I do think the bosses are actually pretty solid. They are not, because they. What was that game that made it like really bad? Dark Souls 2. Not Dark Souls 2. There was a game that like recently they made like a lot of bosses basically samey. And I feel like this isn't the case. They actually, like, all the bosses have what they're called. They have like their stages. They have their own like patterns of attacks, so you can learn the pattern. And because that's how I ended up beating the first boss, the wooden like tree creature thing. Like I learned its patterns. I learned how to deal with them. I found that gap in his like lasers where you can sit there and just attack and you don't get damaged. I'm gonna probably patch that, but just say it. But no, it was they are solid, and I think did they? Is there a boss that I missed? Because I think we fought all of them. Maybe it's one.
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure, but
what I saw so far is like you can remember. To a certain extent, all the bosses.
And actually, I will personally love more this kind of randomness and more like different stages, because seeing like always the kind of the same patterns, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of classic for a lot of roguelike games, but since we have like a lot of stuff nowadays with like artificial intelligence and like super fresh technology, that will be like, I would say that there's gonna be like a lot of fun if you program. Of course, it's gonna be like a lot harder. I know, because I'm also a programmer. So, but it will be so much nicer to actually configure a boss to have more like, maybe learn from his mistakes and maybe add some machine learning, or maybe act differently, right? That will be something, probably another selling point if they could do something about this, right? Mobs to adapt more to the behavior, to the player experience. What I say?
I don't really like that idea, mainly because we've done so much even without AI before. one thing is that these guys aren't. I don't think they can afford doing that
Yeah.
since they're. And the second thing is, I think at that point you're overcomplicating stuff. Some of the whole idea of a boss is basically in these games, especially, is that you learn their patterns, you learn how they attack and how they behave. And I think that's part of the game too, because if you add so much unpredictability, you're just making it more frustrating instead of just fair.
Yeah, but the frustration level could always be controlled. But yeah, that's another completely discussion, and that would probably take like hours.
Because we can already vary that. I've seen games in the past that did like Dark Souls. There's one example where you maybe struggle with a boss, you get him to like 2 health, and then he pulls an attack that you've never seen before. So these things can be planned beforehand, even without AI.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. But I don't really think. What I'm saying is, we don't have how do I put it? You don't have to use a tool just to use it. If we can do it, if we did it before and it's cheaper, because as I said, these guys probably can't afford to use GPT like engines and stuff like that.
Oh, but
And-
I'm not saying actually to use tools like GPT or something. I'm only
No, I
saying
mean-
like to have more complex bosses or more complexity, and maybe like for some certain like players that would be nice to add more, actually for the bosses to have that feeling that, hey, these guys, they will act a little bit different, and you will actually pay a little bit more attention to the bosses, and you want to actually know that, hey, this is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 done. You will actually always pay attention to the boss. You won't know exactly where he's gonna throw the stuff, right? Like throw, let's say, some AoE. Maybe it's gonna be bigger, smaller, I don't know, like some customization. It doesn't have to be like super complex, but a little bit more complexity,
I think it's good enough as it is. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I think you have survival bias because you basically reached end game with all the upgrades. I just started, and I think like most of the bosses can be unpredictable if you don't know their patterns.
Oh,
And
yeah,
even learning
starting.
that pattern, it's still a bit unpredictable because it's not like the projectiles go every time in the same direction, or
Yeah.
all the attacks go in the same place. You don't know. Like the last boss that we had with the spear guy, he started attacking like with his clones, and I dodged all of them, and I tried to like go around him to backstab him. And he did like a weird angle where it came in like diagonally, and I wasn't expecting that. It just got me.
Yeah, but that
So
that
we
was the
don't
first
need to-
time. That was the first time you played the game, right?
Yeah, but still, like I feel like those bosses are enough to learn their behavior immediately, but they
Yeah.
can still be unpredictable enough to catch you off guard and stuff like that if you're not. Because I was reckless there. I can admit that. But
Yeah.
I like at that point. I think I'm not gonna say it was brain dead. I think
Yeah.
I think it has enough complexity. I don't think they can add. They need to add more.
I
But
guess-
that's my thing.
Of course, I guess it's up entirely to players.
Especially since you need to keep in mind again, this is a demo, so we've seen like what, the 3 levels of bosses. We don't know how many others they're gonna
yeah.
add later on.
Yeah, totally. I'm pretty sure that they will add actually more content, more chapters, more whatever. Yeah. Anyway, another interesting thing that I noticed, and actually I really enjoy that, and that makes things a little bit more interesting and fun, was about the rooms actually that had like different modifiers. For instance, like
On higher difficulty.
Yes. On higher difficulties, you have this possibility of like, hey, you go in a room, but this room has minus, I don't know, 80% damage if you press on the Q ability, or less damage on the primary ability, or whatever. This kind of things makes things a little
Or
bit.
like insta death on traps and stuff like
Or,
that.
or yeah, actually, or that as well, yeah. That this thing, or actually even the fact that we need to stay closer.
We have to stick together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also like.
Otherwise you don't do damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where they can maybe add more complexity.
Oh yeah, yeah. That will be actually nice, like or maybe get forced to stay like super far away from each other. Imagine that as well. That will be actually nice.
But that's just the variables. They can just basically split
Of course,
numbers
of course.
around. And
Yeah,
it would be cool to see. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something.
I mean to add something is not hard. To make it fun, I guess, is gonna be the challenge for them, right?
Yeah, because you need to keep it balanced. Like if
Of
you do
course.
something like you do like enemies are like only vulnerable to Venom. Well, if I build myself around not using Venom, well, then I'm fucked.
Yeah, truly.
So
That's
yeah, that's a balancing thing. But no, the idea itself is interesting, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna actually end here. Yeah, it was actually interesting for me personally that this is the kind of the first time I do this kind of video. So
Yeah, you're
well,
fine.
yeah, you know, the more like I was used to just play and talk at the same time. Now it's different. So
It's better. You had time to think.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't want the time to think. I don't know. I just play and react at the same time. But it's always good to experiment, right? So anyway, that was it for this video. Make sure to subscribe to like my channel and to A Random Cause. I'm gonna leave the link in the description.
Yes, thank you. And just for my
Yes, and of course like and share this video and leave us leave here a comment below and yeah, let us know what you think about the game. How do you feel like about the future of this game, and if this game is gonna be like a super big game, which is gonna be like a big surprise, or is gonna die, you know,
I tried something.
it's gonna die. Okay, thanks for being here, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye.